Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can actually end up getting a successful pre-order on both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X or S, or the digital version of the PS5, which one you choose. The point is that the PS5 and I'm going to refer to it just as the X for Xbox, but the Xbox Series X, I'm going to be showing you guys how to successfully pre-order them when they get back in stock. Now, there is a couple things I must clarify before I do advance any further, so that way there is no confusion whatsoever, because this is going to be very crucial to you getting this pre-order, so just stick with me, okay? So, a couple things. Number one is that this is not a 100% guarantee, but it's a likely guarantee to the point where it's like so high that your chances of it is much higher than just surely random. Like, for example, you can go into it with a percentage that's high enough that you have a vote of confidence instead of just literally hitting F5 in the checkout over and over and over again, which I did myself. You don't want to play the luck game, okay? You want to have a foolproof plan that will increase your odds. Not guarantee them, but definitely increase them. So not a guarantee, but your chances are significantly higher. Secondly, as well, is that with this, it's going to be different depending on what your retailers are. So for me, example, I live in America. And in the United States, the main retailers that are selling and pre-ordering for Xboxes and PlayStations is Best Buy, Target, Amazon, Walmart, and GameStop. Those are the five, other than, of course, the Microsoft Store specifically, I guess, if you want Xbox. But at least in the United States where I live, those are the five main retailers, and those are probably going to be the ones you want to go with in general. So retailers are subjective, and their rules might be slightly different, so just modify them accordingly. That's all I ask. And the last thing is this: if you just simply happen to end up enjoying this video and this does manage to help you out, which I have a pretty good feeling it will, please definitely, before you do take off at the end, since it's only going to take literally 2 seconds and it's free, please consider dropping a like, comment, subscribe, and then that way you can actually end up telling YouTube personally, you know, that you like the videos and you want to see more of them, because the YouTube will recommend me more to be able to help you guys out in the future. So it's a win-win for everybody. But let's begin. So, for those of you guys that are already not aware, the Xbox and the PlayStations are coming out in a couple months' time, and the pre-orders were kind of a bust. Essentially, what happened is that everybody was spamming and you're using clickers and robots, and it was a whole entire cluster up, let's be honest. And the Xbox Series X, S, PS5, and the digital PS5 all like instantly sold out. Like, there was literally just a cluster F of people pre-ordering, and I, unfortunately, didn't have it as an easy time as you might expect, even though I did manage to end up getting both a PS5 and a Xbox Series X. Now, in that sense, I'm lucky, but it wasn't easy. I had to really fight for it, and I'm going to be showing you that exact method to get through the BS, because I got lucky, and I am very happy. And I'm not saying this to brag, but I am very fortunate for the sake of YouTube and content, because I'm doing this for you guys. I got both consoles pre-ordered and ready to go. That way, when the content's ready to start being recorded and there's no, legality problems, like there's nothing about being released early, I can be right on top of it. So I'm gonna call that good karma. But yeah, let's basically talk about it. So I have Best Buy, Target, Amazon, Walmart, and GameStop all pulled up, and I have Xbox in one, PS in the other one, Amazon the other one, etc., etc., etc. And I am going to be blocking out some stuff because there is some personal info in here, but I will explain this. So the best chances that you have of getting these consoles, I'm going to explain them right now. The very first tip that I can give you is make an account with all these websites. The reason why is because since pre-orders are very technical, they want to make sure it's going to the right person. So keep this in mind. Every single one of these websites, whether it be Best Buy, whether it be Target, whether it be Amazon, whether it be Walmart or GameStop, every single one of these, you're going to want to make a personalized account, because this does many things. Number one, majority of the websites, specifically Target, I've noticed especially, you're going to have to make one regardless whether you want to or not to even make the transaction, because what they do is they're trying to keep track of people spending a certain amount on the consoles. Like, for example, take the PlayStation when I was trying to pre-order through Target. Originally, I was in a fight between Target and Best Buy. They were the only two websites that happened to be working for me. And the Target time, when I was trying to get the PlayStation, what happened was that every time I tried to buy it, they wanted me to make an account. They do this so you can't buy them in bulk and distribute them online and sell those for a profit. They do this on purpose. So whether it be Amazon, Target, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop, I'm being serious, guys, they're probably going to most likely ask you, I know Target does for especially, but they're probably going to ask you, make an account. And this is also good for you as well, is because you can pre-assign your credit card or your debit card or whatever you pay with to the account. So, in an instance where there's people spamming 24/7 and you don't want to waste time putting your card, it's just auto there. And you can hit save, checkout, you're done. It's literally that. It's just save, checkout, you're done. And it's very easy because there's less buttons, less typing, and less wasting time. Unfortunately, at first, I got to the point where I was hesitating on some of these websites because I wanted to see if I can get a better deal because I wanted to pick some of them up in person, not wait for a delivery. And I hesitated with that on Walmart, and it cost me, which is why I actually had to wait until I got lucky with GameStop later down the line. I managed to actually end up getting my PlayStation on Best Buy and my Xbox through GameStop. Now, that's not to say that Walmart, Amazon, and Target will not work. It may be subjective. But I had the most luck with Best Buy and GameStop. I don't know if it's that specific console either, but that just is what happened to get. I also ended up getting the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X most expensive ones, the $500 ones. The non-digital ones were just the ones I wanted instead. I can tell you this right now, the digital ones are going to sell out faster because that was just my experience, because they're cheaper. People are always going to go for cheap. A lot of people don't get discs anyways. Really, the appeal is just the disc drive, and you're going to want to end up getting the better console. But I like that in a sense. So you're going to have an easier time getting the more expensive console, even if you don't necessarily want to do that. But if you make an account, you have that tip. That's also kind of a second thing I want to go into, by the way. This, I guess you could say, is tip 2. Is the digital consoles will always sell out faster. Think about it this way. The Xbox Series S this time around is only $300. That's very good. That would be like the equivalent of when the Xbox One was on Black Friday, or the equivalent of when they had the Slims, or the remasters of the consoles. Like later years down the line, you're getting a upgraded console in terms of the price, not necessarily the sheerness, but you're getting like basically what happened with the old consoles when the S's came out, or the Slims came out, where it was a better, slimmer version of the console, and you're getting that essentially on day one. Same thing with the PlayStation, although there's nothing different with specs. It's literally just a lack of a disc drive, and it saves you an extra $100. So if you can afford to save the money, sure, go ahead and get the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5 normal, put more power to you. But the cheaper ones are naturally going to sell out more just because they're cheap. There's literally no way around it. It's just because they're cheap. Now, also the third thing is you want to sign up for notifications. This also, once again, ties into the account / the website in particular you're using. For example, if we go over here to Walmart, we can actually take a look at some of the options. And one of the options that I've already enabled, so you won't see it, but I promise you it is there, is that you can actually sign up for notifications for when the console's in stock. Now, this may not be up to date unless you're periodically checking your email specifically and hitting F5, or you're scrolling down to refresh it again, but there will be an option for notifications, and if you get lucky enough, you can be notified and get it before anybody else. You want to do this other than just purely guessing, because if you have to eventually go out somewhere and you have a life and you can't just sit F5 all day until it works, then you want to sign up for notifications. It helps, it's simple, but a lot of people don't. The last thing also as well is just check online. Because by checking online, I mean that if you check through, despite the people saying they didn't get a console, you might get lucky, such as, for example, you might follow somebody that's a big name and they're trying to help you out. If you go on Twitter or Instagram, these guys might be like, hey, GameStop's selling the Series X, or Target's selling the PlayStation 5, go get the pre-orders now. In fact, I've done that. Like when I got mine, I was telling everybody what was working after I just did it. And you want to listen to those guys because they may be accurate. They might actually be accurate in terms of the timeline. I mean, the tweet's a little bit out of date, like by a couple hours, and it's probably gone. But if you're on the active lookout and you're paying attention, if somebody has an account that's doing that, put notifications on for that account and keep an eye on that. Because your phone will be a lot more accurate in terms of the notification than the email one. So there are, once again, notifications from the website and then for Twitter. And I recommend doing both, but the website is probably going to be a little bit delayed. So the Twitter notifications, if they're not BSing you, are a lot better. The next tip is do this in odd hours of the day. So, for example, me with the PlayStation 5 in particular, I'll go to Walmart here to try to change the view. When I ended up doing this, because the PlayStation just randomly let pre-orders happen, unlike the Xbox, which happened in the morning at a controlled setting. The PlayStation, I ended up having it where I believe it went live at like 10 p.m. and then I stayed up till 3 a.m. in the morning, 5 hours, to get this thing to finally go through. Because luckily, 3 hours, you know, for most people that probably already had enough, I continued to do extra. And I also did it extremely late at night. A lot of people eventually had stuff. And, you know, it was a Thursday, I believe, and so people had to work probably the next day or school. And so all the people are going to sleep while the tryhards, such as myself, are staying up and they're committed and we're right on top of it. So with the PlayStation, it was actually hard to get because it was later, it was random, and it was still like, you know, extremely late at night as comparison with the Xbox, where with the Xbox, I only got it after the first hour and it was in the early morning/afternoon. But if you do this in the very early morning or like the very late night, such as like anywhere between like 2 a.m. and like 6 a.m., that weird hour, you know, or 4 that has it like where nobody's quite awake or asleep yet, like that is like the best time because obviously during the day, everyone's awake. And even late in the evening, people are getting home from work or school. So even though it's like slowing down for the day, your chances are still pretty low just solely because people are awake. You want people to be asleep. You want to be doing this at weird hours of the day, such as anywhere between 2 a.m. and like 6 a.m. Now that's for specifically you, but however, depending on your retailer, like I'm saying, some people go based off of other time zones. Like for example, I am on Eastern Standard Time US. So for me, when the consoles went live, like let's say in particular Xbox, it was 11 a.m. for me. But it technically went live at 8 a.m. Pacific. And then I would say the last thing is that always, always, always don't give up on the checkout. Because a lot of people, what they did, and I saw this in these YouTube videos, a lot of people, they clicked it and as soon as they said it sold out, they gave up. Or they would check another website. Whatever website is working, persist at it. Constantly keep doing it. Because, for example, let's say Best Buy worked for me for the PlayStation, but it didn't work at all for the Xbox. Because Xbox, in particular, it never even gave me the option. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon, I don't even think actually works. Okay, at least it works now. But before, this wasn't even loading. It didn't have the image or anything. And then Best Buy was just stuck on coming soon. So certain websites, even though they're crashing, even though they're terrible, even though they're not working, whatever out of the 5 that you have that's working, you want to make sure you persist. If it's in the cart, and you've gotten in the cart for a while and still yet to crash, some people have not gotten even in the cart. Some people can't even get the thing to show up. So like for example, I have it where on Amazon, it didn't even work whatsoever. On Best Buy, I got the image but just said coming soon. On GameStop, it said sold out. On Target, I at least got into the cart, and then Walmart, I could actually get to the point where I was putting in cart information. So some might let you get farther than the other one, and whatever does happen to be the one that's working in your favor the most, you want to persist on that website, because it's probably not going to end up being any worse nor better, but it's your best chance. Because if you were all of a sudden, because it's not working on Walmart all of a sudden, even though it's your best bet, like let's say Walmart happens to be working the best, and you get frustrated, so you're like, oh crap, I'll just try Amazon. You don't want to do that because there's a chance likely that by the time that you do that, that's just going to be sold out regardless. So what you want to do is just keep doing it until it works. Keep doing it until it works, even if you have to hit F5, even if you have to do multiple windows, just keep persisting. I also encourage you, by the way, I guess as a bonus tip, is also just have it where like you have your phone open too. You could technically, theoretically pre-order as a different account. Like if you have something like a Gmail and like a Yahoo or an Outlook, because you can only have one console per account in your cart and they're going to want you to make an account regardless anyway. Do one on your phone and then also one on your computer if you have one, or your laptop, and have it where you're trying to pre-order at the same time, because at least if your chances, you know, are slim to none, you want to at least double your chances of slim to none, if that makes any sense. So yes, theoretically right now you still cannot get it because every single one of these is still sold out. I'm looking at all of them. Nothing has changed, but like I said, I managed to get lucky and I managed to get both, so I hope the best for you guys. So what I recommend at the end of the day is that just stay persistent, do this in odd hours of the day, pre-do all the steps that's going to ask you regardless, keep your information as best as you can and just be patient. But anyways, guys, this is going to be it for today's video. I truly hope you ended up enjoying. If you did, please consider dropping a thumbs up. It's always greatly appreciated, and I'll let you guys know when I'm uploading another video next. I wish you the best of luck with whatever console that you end up getting and whatever version you end up getting. But yeah, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys enjoyed another YouTube video from the most unique YouTuber you guys will ever see. Peace out, guys.